our vanilla cakes are out of the oven and they smell absolutely delicious. The whole house smells unreal. And what I do with my cakes when I take them out of the oven is I let them cool in the pan for 10 minutes. I take them out of the pan and I let them cool on a wire rack for 30 minutes, and then I put those into the fridge for another 30 minutes because I want my cake to be really nice and cool when we're working with them, because we don't want it to crumble and we don't want it to break. So these have been cooled and they've been sitting out and they are perfect for using. So now what we're going to do is a vanilla buttercream. So this is the basic vanilla buttercream. With this recipe, you can adapt it to chocolate, you can turn it into different colors, but this consistency is absolutely perfect. So what you're going to need is 1 cup of soft butter. Again, make sure that it is soft. What I like to do is take out my butter the night before, leave it out at room temperature, and then when I want to make it the next day, then it's perfect temperature. You don't want it to be melted because it will ruin the whole recipe. You're going to need 6 cups of icing sugar, and depending on the consistency of your icing, how you want it to be. If you want it to be a harder consistency, you can add a little more icing sugar. If you want it to be softer, then just take out a bit. That's totally up to you. But for the purposes of today's project, we're gonna do this recipe. You're going to need 3 teaspoons of vanilla extract and a 1/4 cup of warm milk. Again, I love to use warm milk. If you use cold milk, then it's gonna freeze up or harden your butter, which you don't want. So warm that up at room temperature. So how we're gonna start, again, I'm using my standard mixer. You can use a handheld if you want. I love my KitchenAid though, so this is what I like to use. We're gonna start off by putting in the butter straight into the bowl. So it's very similar to the vanilla cake that we did earlier, where you put the butter in and then you're putting the sugar and then you mix it all together. It's just you don't add the rest of the ingredients. So we're putting in our butter. Then I want to mix this on my mixer for about 30 seconds. I just want to make sure that it mixes properly. So I'll just put it on low. You know what? Not even 30 seconds. 5 seconds is fine. So I just wanted to make sure that it was nice and soft. Then I'm going to add in my icing sugar a little bit at a time. I don't want to put it all together because it's going to fluff up and splash all over the kitchen, so you don't want that. So I like to just grab you can use a spoon or any type of measuring cup or anything that you want. And I'm just going to put in a little bit at a time. So I'll just put in 1 and I'll let that mix. So once that's mixed, then I can put in another scoop. I like to turn off my mixer when I'm putting this in because I really don't want this to splash all over, just because it's too much cleaning. So now that I've put that, I'm gonna add in both of my wet ingredients. So I'm putting in my vanilla extract and I'm gonna put in my milk. So I'll let that mix. Then I'm gonna continue adding in my icing sugar. So we're just gonna put that in. And this recipe is really good because you can use it for cakes, you can use it for decorating your cupcakes, you can use it for absolutely anything. So I just put in 2 scoops there, and I'm just going to let that mix again. So it looks like the consistency is getting about right, so I can keep adding more of my icing sugar. And I'm going to actually, because it's been incorporated a little bit, I can add in more of this at a time. So I'm going to put in about half of what's left right into the bowl. Just when we turn on our mixer, we want to just make sure that I don't turn it on too fast because, like I said, the icing sugar is such a soft consistency that it could splash. So I just like to let that mix. I'm going to add in the rest of my icing sugar, and then what you're going to do is you want to bring your mixer up to medium high, and you want that to mix for about 5 minutes because you want it to fluff up. So I'm going to add in the rest of my icing sugar. That's what I love about these mixers too, is that you can literally just do everything all in one bowl instead of using so many different bowls. So that's all been put in. Again, be careful when you turn this on. Oh, it's so funny. When the icing sugar splashes up, I can feel the dust and I can taste the sugar in the air, but it tastes good. Okay, so this is all gonna mix up now. I'm gonna mix this for about 5 minutes, again on medium high. So we want that to mix up and we want it to get nice and pale and fluffy, and it's going to get a very nice consistency, and with that we can go ahead and make our cakes and stack them and prepare them.